Hey guys, it's Sasha with Rice and Raw, and I just want to make a video to thank all of you. Everyone is so supportive on my YouTube, on my Tumblr blog, on my Instagram, and I don't get to thank all of you personally, and I'm just so touched by all of you, and for all the people who message me that I haven't gotten back to, please don't take that personally. Just know that, I have a life too, and I have goals, and I wish I could get back to all of you, and I hope I can soon. But right now, I am so bad at managing my time. But I read all of your stuff, and I'll usually be reading a lot of people's messages on the run, and I'm not able. It's weird, on my phone I can't comment back to people on my YouTube app, which I think is really annoying. So I'll read a lot of YouTube comments, and I'll be like, oh, I want to comment back later, and I never end up doing it. So I'm really sorry to the people I don't respond to, the people I don't respond to who message me privately. I love all of you, and please don't take that personally. I just don't want you guys to feel bad, because I do read everything you guys send me, and I do want to get back to everyone. So just a big thank you to all of you. You are all so awesome and so supportive, and I'm just so blessed to have you all in my life. And let's see, also I wanted to talk about just a few new diet things I've been experimenting with. I feel like I'm at the point where I'm really comfortable with my weight, and I can afford to experiment with things. And I hear from people on YouTube, I read things, I read articles and studies, whatever. But I think the most important thing is to know what works for your body. And I know people love to say, everyone's different, that's why I can eat meat. Well, I do agree that everyone is different to a very certain extent. It is not a vast difference of someone eats plants, someone eats meat. But to experiment a bit with maybe a bit higher protein levels, incorporating a bit more fat, and not being as afraid of fat as I used to be in my diet, that sort of thing. So what I have been experimenting with for about, I'd say about 2 weeks now, is having almost every single day having a bit of avocado. Now, I'm not having a whole avocado, not even having half. I'm having maybe 1/8 to 1/4. They're clearing off the icicles out there. I just saw like a pole hovering in the air. Well, that's interesting. So about 1/8 to 1/4 of an avocado almost every day, probably about 5 days a week, I'd say. And I've been loving it. I love avocado, and for a while now, for about like a year, I completely cut it out of my diet because I really wanted to, not only to lose weight, but mainly to make sure that I was on the top of my game with 80-10-10, and aiming to eat more 90-5-5 in the ratio. So recently I've tried to scale it back to more the 80-10-10, have a bit more fat. And I'm not talking about I'm having oils or coconut oil or anything like that. I'm having whole fruits that are fat. And also chia seeds are great too. I have some of them in my pantry, and I should probably get into those a little bit too again. I haven't noticed any weight gain. In fact, I've actually noticed more of a blunt to my appetite a little bit, just by incorporating this extra fat. Usually I'll have a whole bowl of rice, like a huge bowl of rice, and I'll roll it up in nori wraps. But once I added the avocado to this rice, I get full so quickly. I can only have half the amount of rice as I usually have. So it's a give or take, really. You need to find that balance that is right for you. Search around the 80-10-10 macro ratio, find what works for you, and once you find it, stick with it. And if you want to experiment a bit more with other things, go for it. Definitely something that's fun to do once you've kind of, I don't want to say mastered 80-10, but 10-10, but like feel really comfortable with 80-10-10, happy with your results, and just want to see for yourself what a change in your diet will do and how it will affect you. So I've really enjoyed having a bit more avocado in my diet. Fills me up quicker though, so I feel like I'm having just less food in general, which isn't what I want. I want to be having more and more food, but definitely, always sticking with the fruits. Some strawberries in there. And let's see, also the past couple days I've tried out Sun Warrior protein powder. Now, first off, I want to say you do not need to supplement with protein powder at all if you're eating enough food on 80-10-10. So don't feel like you guys have to go out and buy Sun Warrior protein. Absolutely not. My boyfriend uses it because he goes to the gym avidly every single day, almost, like, okay, maybe like 5 days out of the week. He's going to the gym for like 2 hours, and he's hitting the gym hard. And he, like, I've seen him at the gym, and I'm like, oh my gosh, his work ethic is like crazy. Like, why doesn't he do that at home with the chores? I'm just kidding. He's really actually good at cleaning up and everything around the house. But he works really hard, and he struggles with getting in enough food. So to supplement with the protein powder, I feel like has really helped him out. I don't do that. I sit around, I'm studying most of the day. I have a desk job, and really the only thing that active I do is stretching and my pole exercises these days. And I do want to build more strength and more muscle to be able to pull off some really awesome, intense moves on the pole. So I've been trying out a bit of protein also. It tastes really amazing. I have the chocolate kind. It tastes 10 times better than, 100 times better really, than any whey protein I've ever had in the past. It doesn't have that chalky taste, that aftertaste that I really just couldn't stand. You could really just mix this protein powder in with water and it would taste delicious. So I added that in with some strawberries, some beetroot, and it's absolutely delicious. So that was great and all, and I don't know if I'm going to do it like every day, probably maybe once a week or so, maybe even less, maybe once every other week. Okay, so I think that's about it. I'm going to go work on these strawberries that I have, a whole bunch here. I don't know how far I'm going to get into them because I don't think they're quite ripe yet. I'll have to let them sit a bit more. I'll just pick out the ripe ones. Again, I just want to thank all of you guys for your support. It means so much to me, and it's really cool because I didn't think that, like, I really get here because I'm not exactly a blog. I don't feel like I'm really a blog or a YouTube personality per se, because I'm very shy, you know, in my normal daily life. You know, I'm not that shy, but I'm pretty quiet, and I'm really bad at time management. I'm not the biggest social person, honestly. Like, I even have trouble texting my friends back when they text me. Like, my sister texted me like an hour ago. I read it. I want to answer her. I just haven't done it yet. I don't know. It's really weird. I just like avoid answering people. So, I mean, that does unfortunately translate to, you know, online with helping people out. In college, I used to have all this time just to answer people, which is why on my blog, I would just answer people for like a couple hours a day. I can't do that anymore. I don't have that time, unfortunately. I wish I did. And I have a lot more people messaging me and asking me questions, and it does take a lot of energy to fully commit to writing someone something, because I don't want to just do a slapdash and go answer. I want to sit there, really think about your situation, really help you out, and really engage with you and what's going on. So that takes up a lot of time and a lot of energy to answer someone's email. It could honestly take me like 20 minutes. And, you know, if you get like 5, 10, you know, it's going to take a long time. So sorry, I'm just ranting right now. Hopefully it'll get better. I'll keep working on it, guys. And keep carving up, and I will see you later.